Welcome to PM Express Business Edition. Some have described it as a miracle. Maybe they might not be wrong. Wondering what I'm talking about? Well, it's the Ghana cedi. Let me move away from the percentages and just look at the actual amount. It has moved from around 15 Ghana cedis somewhere in November and is now trading at around 8 Ghana cedis to $1 in just about 3 or 4 weeks. As a finance student, I've not seen this before. Maybe I must confess. Can we sustain this good run? And is that what we'll be trying to get some answers on PM Express Business Edition as we engage an economist, Professor William Babwate. He's head of the Accounts Department at the University of Ghana, Legon. Dr. Alex Pabli is vice president the Ghana Association of Forex Bureau Operators, and he's also a lecturer at the University of Ghana, and Dr. Joseph Obeng, president of GUTA, those who are actually trading. What are they feeling on the ground? Can we get around this? Can we sustain this good run? That is what we're trying to get some answers here on PM Express Business Edition, and Dr. Joseph Obeng is right with me here in studio, and we're trying to find out also from you guys. Some are saying that why are you not just reducing the prices? I'll be coming back to you. This is PM Express Business Edition. We'll take a short break and we will be right back. Welcome back to PM Express Business Edition. If you have been monitoring development on the exchange market or even the Forex Bureau, whether you call it the miracle of Bokum or the miracle of Accra in terms of the Ghana cedi and where it's moved from. And yesterday was somewhere around 10 point something. Today, we are hearing it's around 8 point something. What is happening? We'll be getting an economic view on it and also be engaging those traders down there who are in this business. That is Dr. Joseph Obeng, the president of GUTA, is here with me in studio. And Doc, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
How is business now?
Yeah, business have become very dicey, and some mixed feeling that the exchange rate that we are all craving that it should come down because of the when the cedi was depreciating, the rate at which it was going, it was so scary to the extent that most of us rushed in panic to buy, and at the peak it was 15.5. And now it has dropped to below the 9 cedi mark,
60 something today.
And all that. So it means that much as you should have been happy, you have used all your money to buy at a peak level where it was 15.5. Now you have to even buy it cheaper and your money is locked up there. What should we do? Such is life. And so it's a mixed feeling out there, though we are very excited about the development because our capitals have deflated over 60% for the past 6 months.
Yeah.
And that if the cedi is gaining some value, is appreciating, it means that we are recouping back our capital. And that calls for a joy for it.
When I was preparing for this show today, I was trying to do some small research to educate myself. I mean, even get in touch with some of my lectures in school and all the rest. I mean, you've been in business for quite a long time. Have you seen this before in your life?
No, this is different. If you look at the trends,
I'm looking at the rate of gain.
The rate it went up was not even, it's unprecedented, like we all said. And then the rate of drop is also unprecedented.
But I mean, even when it was depreciating, you saw it being stable for a little, maybe 2 days a day, but every day. And I'm looking at the Bank of Ghana, even in the interbank rates now, and they're even quoting somewhere around 7 something Ghana cedis.
Yeah, I think speculation in both ways have worked tremendously for the rise and also for the yeah.
Let me go on the line and I'll be getting Dr. Pabli also, but let me get first with Professor William Babwate. He's the head of the Accounts Department at the University of Ghana, Legon, to get the bigger macro economic picture before let's zoom it down. Prof, Thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate you for joining us on PM Express Business Edition. And Prof, I want to first ask you this question. In terms of the gain that we've seen, this record gain, help us in terms of history or institutional memory. Have we witnessed this before in this country?
Well, thank you very much. If you look at the data, exchange rate data from 1960, we have not experienced this kind of gain before. And of course, we've not also experienced the kind of depreciation that we had over the last 11 months before. So it was a loss, and it's more like a gain. So we need to look at the net effect as to whether the net effect is positive or negative. And I think that is where we need to look at.
Prof, you are an astute econs lecturer. For this development like this, is it something that we should be worried, or it's like they always say that correction is taking place, market forces and all those things? As an economist, putting on the economic hat, are you worried, or listen, it is the correction that is taking place?
Well, I think in any case, whenever you have fast or rapid depreciation of your local currency, it is not good news. And if you also begin to have rapid appreciation too, you also need to look at it from various angles. Now, the appreciation is not an end in itself. Remember, when we had the CD depreciation so fast, it reflected heavily on domestic price, general price level. And that is why it has pushed inflation up to where we are, 50.3. And we were 40.4, I remember, in October. And the CD depreciation so fast in November. And that actually transmitted into the about 10 percentage point increase in inflation as we have now. So you expect that if the CD is appreciating, then we should see its effect on a downward effect on prices. But it seems it is not happening as we expect. Maybe it might happen next month or perhaps later in the month. But I think the way it was, the depreciation affected prices upwards, one expects that it should be able to bring it down. And that is why Friedman continues to say that prices are sticky downwards and flexible upwards. And that is how the market works. So you don't like rapid depreciation, and you don't also want to say that when the CD is appreciating, it's also good. It must reflect on general price level. And you may also look at it from other angles. And I listened to my colleague who said, well, they lost their capital and now it's coming back, which is excellent. If you ask the government now, they will tell you that they are also losing revenue because duties at the port is fixed to the dollar. So when it was 14, government was not jubilating, but within them, revenue was increasing in terms of cities. But now that it is appreciating, which is good in terms of those who have their capital lost, you see that government will also have to think about its revenue as well. So wherever it goes, it's not good for business. The best is stability. So if you have your exchange rate depreciating at maximum 2% or appreciating maximum 2%, it helps businesses to plan. It helps government to plan. It helps households and individuals to plan. But if you have rapid depreciation in November and then you have rapid appreciation in December, it makes planning a bit challenging.
Prof, I'll be coming back to you to look at the bad and the ugly side of what is happening right now, why we might be so excited about. Several reasons have been given for this. Some are saying speculators. Some are saying that on the international market itself, the dollar is losing ground. Some are saying that demand has fallen. So be careful how we are excited about this. For you, what do you think is the main driver for what we are seeing with respect to the city's sustained gain? Some are saying there's a hidden hand and all the rest. I want to hear what the academician is saying.
Well, I am talking from academic perspective as market watcher. I don't have the data, what I mean by data, liquidity data from central bank and so on. So I can only look at what is happening. So It's a combination of factors, and I can count as many as 6 or 7. Now, the first one that you can think about is the weakened dollar. Remember, in August, September, and so on, we realized that the dollar was becoming so stronger because the interest rate, the federal interest rate was high, to the extent that it gained strength against the pound and also the euro. And you realize that at that time, the cedi was depreciating faster against the dollar than as it was depreciating faster against other currencies. And that shows that when the dollar is stronger, then you expect that your currency may suffer faster. And then now the dollar has the strength of the dollar has gone down, and now when you look at it, it has come back to where it used to be. And you expect that other currencies will also appreciate against the dollar. And of course, you see that the cedi is also appreciating. But you cannot just attribute it to only this, because if you look at the cedi's appreciation against other major currencies like the rand, like the euro, and then the pound, then you can say that if it is also appreciating against these currencies, then there are other factors that will be driving the cedi appreciation. So then you have to look at maybe you may think it's minor, but inflows of dollars and foreign currency from those who are coming for the Christmas festivities, our brothers and sisters from UK, from US, from other countries who are coming. Of course, they will have some foreign currencies to exchange, and that will also show some kind of supply. Then we can also think about the fact that where we are, normally during the Christmas time, importers begin to import from October, November. Now we have just a week away from Christmas. So you expect that importers are not perhaps demanding the dollars as it used to be from forex bureaus and so on. The demand has gone down. So if the demand goes down, then you expect that if the supply remains constant, then you need to get some kind of gain. We cannot also forget about the fact that speculators, what I call reverse speculation. Now, George, if you realize what happened last month and last 2 months, when the cedi was depreciating so fast, people wanted to, as it were, make sure that they keep the value of their currency. So people started buying dollars all over. So if you buy dollars at 14, naturally, you don't need a dollar for anything. Because you just want to use it as a store of value and keep the value of your money. You buy the dollar at 14. And you think that you will gain when the dollar goes to 17 and 18. And then it reverses. The moment it reverses and comes down to the 14, it didn't go to the 15, it comes to 13, then you realize that you are going to have a problem. If you don't have steady liquidity much, you'll be compelled to cut your losses. Individuals or those who thought that they were going to cash in as far as the cedi depreciation was concerned, they had to cut their losses, and therefore they will begin to sell their dollars. And the moment they also sell, supply goes up. Remember, I heard on your network yesterday or 2 days ago that there's shortage of liquidity of cedis at the Forex Bureau. Why?
The Vice President of the Forex Bureau Association is just on this panel with us, and I'll be getting to him very soon as you end, Prof.
Exactly. So the point is that people are now having a lot more dollars, and if it's going down, then you either need to cut your losses. If you cannot keep the dollar for a long time, then it also shoves out the supply. So there are a number of factors that you can think about.
Prof, I'll be coming back to look at the bad side of this seemingly good thing that some people are looking at. And let me get to Dr. Kpabli. He's Vice President of the Forex Bureau, the Ghana Forex Bureau Association, and also a lecturer at the University of Ghana as well. Doc, thank you for your time. And I'm asking all my guests these questions. You have also been in this business for a while, and even as a lecturer, finance, economics, and all the rest. Have we seen this before?
Well, absolutely not, George. But let me please again ask you to just give me a minute to explain who are the Forex Bureau operator, or what Forex Bureaus are. Because the narratives up there appears to me that most people do not understand what the Forex Bureau do, or what the Forex Bureau are. So let me say that the Forex Bureaus are non-banks and the non-depository, financial institutions licensed by the Bank of Ghana, okay, to buy and sell convertible foreign currencies, right? And so the Forex Bureau are highly regulated institutions, its operations are supervised by the Bank of Ghana. And it will surprise you to note that every week, the Forex Bureau submits weekly rate returns to Bank of Ghana. Every month, they submit prudential returns to Bank of Ghana. And every year, we submit an audited account to Bank of Ghana. And the Forex Bureau also, they give employment, they pay taxes. And so, in short, the Forex Bureaus are highly regulated institutions. So this I want to put on record.
Thank you so much. Doc, and help us on the ground in terms of your operations and what has happened just over the past 2 weeks in terms of the rates and i.e. demand and supply.
So, George, what we see is an effect of a cause, or if you will, multiple causes. So we don't spend so much time dealing with effects. Otherwise, you will not get a lasting solution. You must understand the cause or the causes. Okay, if you understood the cause that is driving this phenomenon, I think you'll be ending or finding a lasting solution to what is happening.
For you, what is the main cause of what has happened? You are on the ground. Your members are on the ground. People, they deal with the retail market in terms of the exchange of these FX.
Yeah, so I think in general, I see foreign exchange rates are influenced by a number of factors, including inflation, interest rates, current account deficits, political environment, government policy, speculation, and market sentiment. Okay, but in our case, you see, some of us do not want to just speak to anecdotal evidences. So, what has Bank of Ghana or the monetary policy? What have they done to bring us to this level? Or if you talk about the fiscal policy, what have they done? Okay, but put that aside. For those of us who are in the market, what we see has influenced this phenomenon is speculation. All right, speculation and market what you call market sentiment.
Speculation, Doc, and let me step in. Speculation, as in the fear that the rate is going to gain more. So if I'm holding on to dollars, let me rush and liquidate it, right? So there's excess supply on the market.
Absolutely. Like Prof said, when the cedi was depreciating, every rational economic being would understand that if you have the currency that is depreciating and knowing for a fact that money is a store of value, you will not sit down and then be looking at your money depreciating, losing value. You will transfer it to something that the value can be stable. And that's exactly what happened. You see a lot of people, changing their cedi into dollars, into currencies that the value can be stable. All right, that's exactly what happened. Now the reverse is the opposite. And again, what we see in the market, for some of us who are operators, we saw that the rate suddenly dropped. People bring money. We can. Some of us even do not have enough cedi because we have bought.
Doc, that is, and when you granted that interview, that is very serious, because then every business will lock up in investment in these forex and have a little liquidity for working capital.
Absolutely. So you have stock that you can't sell. You don't have people buying. Okay. So what do? You have locked all your liquid cash into stock. So that's exactly. So our stock, those of us who operate the Forex Bureau, our stock in the foreign currencies. So you have locked, your cedi into stock, foreign currency. Nobody's buying. You don't have, people coming for you. You can't get buyers, and therefore that automatically, if somebody brings in with another, currency to sell, the price will go down because you will not be willing to, So the price will automatic, that also can drive the price down. And that is what we are seeing.
Do you see the price going down further? I mean, we've had a bank that projected that they thought that an international investment bank that thought that the depreciation was so steep that when Ghana signs on or secures a staff level agreement with the IMF, a correction would take place. And this international investment bank was projecting 6 cedis to $1.
So what we are seeing is an artificial. You see, if that's what I'm
How
saying.
artificial? If we believe, Doc, in market forces that will drive rates, where is the hidden hand that is doing this? Unless you are collaborators yourself.
So that is not. You see what, like Prof have said. You see the forces, the demand and supply. You know, the demand and supply are the strong forces that drives, the exchange rates. Okay, and I've given you some of the influences. Okay, I have given you some of the influences, and therefore there is a need. You see, we don't just want to speak in vacuum. You see, so that's why I'm saying in academia, we don't speak to anecdotal, evidences. We must get what exactly is driving this phenomenon. If we don't, then we'll just be talking without, at the end of the day, we will not find solution to what is happening. And that is why I'm asking, if you should put that question to the policy, the monetary policy, the Bank of Ghana, what have they done? What have they done?
Do you think that BOG is also doing something that is causing this rapid gain of the Ghana cedi against the US dollar and the other currencies?
Absolutely, that's what they exist.
Policy rate hike, or there are other hidden monetary tools that is driving the rates. We won't talk about policy rates. Policy rates has impacted on liquidity, is a fact. But are there other hidden hands, monetary tools, that is driving this sharp gain by the Ghana cedi?
Yeah, moral suasion alone can.
Are your members being given that moral push that do this and that is helping?
Oh yeah. So as a regulated institutions, I can tell you for a fact that we have been series of meetings with the Bank of Ghana.
And what are they telling you?
As far as being to the president, So yeah.
And what are they telling you? Help drive the rates down?
No, there are measures that we need to conform. For instance, those doing black marketeering. Recently some bureaus have been closed down because they are not compliant. They are not playing according to the rules of the game. And therefore, according to them, they have to shut them down. And war against black marketeers. If you don't know what is going underground, it's a war.
But some will say that is good news, right? Everybody should comply with the law.
Absolutely, the law is there to guide us to do the right thing.
Let me come back to you again on this moral suasion. And what are your members telling you? Is this moral suasion about doing the right thing, or moral suasion about massaging the numbers? And therefore, what we are seeing is not the real situation on the ground.
Massaging numbers. Why should we go that far?
I'm just asking. Because now some of your members are saying they don't have cedis. Hey, look, it's unthinkable. That could be a measure again that could reverse this depreciation.
So you know what? If you take that, if you know the amount of money that the bureaus hold, some of the issues that are being peddling are not
How much do they hold?
We hold a small fraction of the cake,
Okay.
Small forest bureaus, what?
Okay. Look, I'll be coming back to you on the way forward as you look at how to sustain this thing. But let me come back to you as well. So for you, the traders as well, what is happening? Because I get you locked your monies, but some will say that when the rates was depreciating, some of your members were quick to do that. Why are you not doing that right now?
Yeah, because when the cedi was depreciating, we were losing huge sums of money. And when the cedi is appreciating, at the same time, we are also losing.
How are you losing?
We are, because out of panic, we have bought at the peak.
But
It went up to
nobody put a gun on
15.2.
your head, Mr. Doc,
Yes,
that go and do.
but that is
because some would say it is not a wise investment decision.
You see, because of fear factor, because at that time we didn't know the end in sight. And people were panicked. You know that the petroleum people, they were using even $19 to do their calculation. All these things fueled speculation that there's a problem, that you have to rush and buy the forest as a store of value, and also for you to be able to import your goods. And if you know the import cycle, most of our goods have nothing in, because the appreciation of the city is just less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then we have locked all our money in the old rate. And this is how the problem is. So much as we are happy with the trend, because at least the value of the city has been appreciated, our capital is going to be also affected same. But when is it going to trickle down, when your goods have not come, when you haven't started enjoying this? You see, we are saying that the forest is there and people are not buying. Yeah. Normally, we are supposed to buy.
Yeah. Are you buying?
Because people have
you have too much dollars now.
We have rushed to buy and send our monies for our suppliers for goods and all that. And so, you understand, because when the city was losing its value, the natural sequence is that you have to look at where you can store your value, so that all your money will not deplete from your hands. And so it started, especially when the city hit 12. Then people, because it hasn't happened that we will reach 10. And then when we reached 10 and we went past 10, then that's where our agitation started, when we threw our hands in despair that what is happening? And then this panic situation started. So we are in a very big dilemma, but nonetheless, you see, we encourage our members to up their prices so that not to be consumed with the depreciation.
From being in this business for a while, what time should we be looking for that cycle to
the import cycle,
that we will start benefiting from the reduction in cost of doing business from you? No,
you see, the prices will be varying from place to place from now, because others might have bought at many of us have bought at the higher prices, and others also might have just started buying, and they have the advantage. And the market is not going to wait for you to reduce your price. When you get the advantage, you just reduce the price. So it's going to be varying. That's why we have advised our members to strike reasonable averages. If you bought some of the dollar at a higher price or medium price or lower price, then you strike the reasonable average so that you can stay afloat. Because now what you have to do as a trader is to be able to reduce your prices small so that you can get money to rush and come and enjoy what is happening now.
City's gain,
Exactly. But if you stay up there, and because we don't know the sustainability of the...
is that your biggest worry as a trader yourself, and even your members, that some are saying that this is just a flash in the pan? There will be a reversal in the first quarter.
So that's why we are all saying that government, whatever effort, sometimes we are not also trying to commend government for some effort. That is not fair. But government have put some measures, a Bank of Ghana and all that. But then the effects of this downward trend, speculation is also part of it. And the fact that people are rushing to sell their stored, hoarded dollars.
So I'm just saying that, help me. I mean, not specific timelines, but when should we be looking for some? Next year?
No, it has started showing.
Your members started
it has started showing.
Really? If we go to the market,
the competition in the market is such
your members have started dropping prices?
The market forces is going to determine the price. And so,
but have they started doing that as we speak right now?
Even before I brought my press statement, it has started showing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, because it's a competition in the market, and it's not. I'm telling you, but our expectation for this reduction should be measured.
Why?
Yes, it should be measured because most of us have bought the forest at a higher price, and you don't
it will
expect
be a
that
gradual
it will be
thing,
a
and it's
gradual
taking
thing.
place.
Some of them, the goods have not come, and so please, the consuming public, we have shown good faith by even telling our members to come down with their prices, even against, because you know those people who are even who are suffering most, those who are not the importers.
Yeah.
Because they bought the goods from importers, they have nothing to do with the foreign exchange issues. So they have just bought it, their price is constant, the retailers. And so how are they going to even reduce their price? Because they are not going to buy any dollar to benchmark their distance. So that's why there's a bit slow. And also, the onus lies on government to ensure sustainability. If you are not able to sustain this, and there's any rise again, then people will go exactly.
I'll be coming back to you to see what more can be done. Professor Boateng, for you, do I get from you that there is an ugly side of this sustained gain we are seeing, right?
Well, I think I did say that it is not the appreciation of the local currency that matters, but how it affects inflation, how it affects growth, how it affects everything that affects our lives is the most important thing. And we expect that if indeed it will reflect on prices coming down, I think that would be.
But Prof, I get you. But earlier on, you tried to point us to a fact that if it's gained so strong, it has its own shocks for the economy.
Yes, and I think I used revenue as an example. And if you look at government fiscal data, you realize that government revenue from Temaport and to some extent other ports is quite high. And anytime the cedi depreciates so fast, government gains a lot in cedis. Now, if it is appreciating, and the appreciation is not natural, but it appears to be that people are panicking and therefore they are selling their dollars and it is pushing the thing so low, it can have a shock in that regard. Apart from that, of course, when it's appreciating, because Ghana is not a country that exports so much, and our export elasticity is, if I can say, is very low. When it's appreciated, it doesn't affect our export so much, but it will bring in so much import. So in other words, it makes imports very cheap. And one of the shocks that we expect is that then it will encourage more imports as it were. So it's not always good to have that rapid appreciation. What is good, as I said, is that you have a very stable kind of currency, not going up and not going down.
Prof, what do you think those who are supposed to be managing the monetary space right now be doing? Because we are all swimming in the excitement right now. But hey, there are some people whose work are to look at these developments and take the medium-term measures or the short-term measures. Should it get to a point and say that, listen, 9 cedis, 7 cedis, hey, let's move in and stop this thing? What should those who are managing the monetary space and the fiscal space be doing right now to ensure that thing doesn't get out of hand and sustain what we're seeing right now?
Well, I think what the Bank of Ghana will be looking forward to do is that they will look at how this will reflect on inflation going forward. So, for instance, we have 2.3%. And if in December we are able to bring down the rate of inflation, the monetary policy would then be thinking about bringing down the policy rate. Because in actual fact, when the cedi was depreciating so far, the central bank was increasing the policy rate. And of course, treasury bill rate was also going up. And it then looks at the 2 points. So if you have your money and the T-bill rate is going up, and of course, you have the cedi also depreciating, which one do you think you want to put your money in? So you will look at it and say, let me diversify my portfolio. So some people may not go into the dollar purchases, but will go into the T-bill rate. So now that the cedi is appreciating, and if it reflects on downward trend on inflation, then we expect that the Bank of Ghana will begin to reduce the policy rate.
Prof, there are some of the school of thought of allow the forces of demand and supply to work. There are some who also insist that there should always be a regulatory or a fiscal intervention. Where do you stand? Should we allow forces of demand and supply? Some are saying that it could go as far as 5 Ghana cedis to $1, or even 3. Or listen,
well, I think when it was depreciating, people said it will end the year at 20. So I think people will still calculate that it will go as low as 4 or 5, but I don't think so. Where I stand, when people say, well, we should allow demand and supply to determine prices, I always say that there's always what we call market failure. And then when people also say that, well, we also have to allow regulators to also come in, there's also a failure there. So you have to be in the middle. And that is why the regulators will look at the market and see that, well, if things are not working well in the interest of the economy, they should be able to do something to be able to tame it. For example, when the cedi was depreciating so fast, all of us said that the central bank can step in a bit and tighten its regulatory framework. One of them was to come down on the black market. I think that helped. Another one was to increase the policy rate and also the treasury bill rate. That also has some kind of effect. And also some of the silent kind of things that are happening in the financial system. Maybe we haven't realized it. These days, it is not you cannot just walk into a bank and say, I am changing my dollars and my cedis to a dollar, unless you are making a transfer or unless you are traveling. And that is what it's supposed to be. Because the dollar is not a medium of exchange in Ghana. People keep dollars as a store of value. And therefore, if Bank of Ghana is able to strengthen that part and say that if you don't have any dollar account, you don't have anything about dollars, and then you have your cedi, and then you can say, I want to change my cedi into dollar. When we know that you are not an importer, when we know that you are not traveling, when we know that you are not using it to buy, to pay fees, central banks should not allow that. And I think they can also go further, as we have always said, that going forward, the central banks should also make sure that people would not just walk to Forex Bureau and just change money as it were. They need to identify themselves with the Ghana card. They need to identify themselves with their passport. And that is the regulation that we talk about, so that we don't allow the market force to determine anything as we have in the tomato market.
Dr. Pabli, let me do quick thoughts and let me go for a commercial break and I'll come. So, Doc, for you, do you think that, Pabli, do you want forces of demand and supply to dictate the pace, or you want a regulatory intervention, looking at what is happening to the Ghana cedi right now? Dr. Pabli, if you're still with us on Zoom, Doc.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, Doc, I can hear you. I was asking whether, with respect to what is happening right now, should we still allow demand and supply forces to intervene and maybe even push it to a cedi to $1, or a regulatory intervention is needed?
So, George, either depreciation or appreciation, it must be policy driven. Okay? If it's not policy driven, then we are totally lost. It must be policy driven. The government must know this is what we want to, even what is what we want to achieve. For instance, this depreciation, what is the purpose? What do we want to achieve? Do we want to encourage export? If export, then we are failing, because then your produce will not be competitive. You understand? So the other appreciation or depreciation, it must be policy or purposely driven.
Okay. Let's take a short break. This is PM Express Business Edition. As we look at the Cedis Stability, how can we sustain it? I've been engaging Professor William Babwateng. He is head of the Accounts Department, University of Ghana, Lagos. Dr. Joseph Obeng, President of GUTA, and Dr. Pabli, he is a Vice President of the Forex Bureau Operators Association, and he's also a lecturer at University of Ghana Business School. Take a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to PM Express Business Edition. So, I mean, Doc, for you, some would say, going forward, as traders, I mean, some are still struggling to get that it would take time and all the rest, and it's happening. So for you, some quick timelines here. You said the reduction has started, so you think it will be gradual and we will feel that full impact before the end of this year?
Yeah, that's why I'm still emphasizing that our expectations should be measured. That we should not think that it will go proportionally like
the way the sustained gain of
the currency. In that case, the consuming public are not being fair to us.
Okay.
We are showing good faith, and we are telling our members to strike the reasonable balances because almost about 70% of us have lost our capital to this. Even though the dollar is going down, it means that where are you going to get the money? Because you have already changed it, and now the CD have appreciated against the dollar that you stored your value in. Where have you been? But even though you've used it to purchase the goods, by the time the goods come, you've lost in disguise. So that's why we are saying that whoever is having goods now should strike the necessary averages and be able to sell at this time so that they can buy the dollar as it is cheaper now. They can get even more dollars and help themselves. So we are just guiding the trading community not to again lose their capital. That's why we are saying that they should try to come down. Because if you have to stay up there and the dollar also reduces in value like it's going, then when is it going to come back again for you to sell your goods? Then those people who also have gotten the dollar at a cheaper price, they will not wait for you. They will sell at cheaper prices.
Some are saying that let's wait till first quarter next year to see whether what is happening right now is real or something.
Yeah, because the depreciation have been perennial.
In the first quarter,
you always come here and discuss this.
Yeah.
But this particular one has come as a result. Let me tell you, the Professor Ban was talking about something the impact on export and all that.
And all
Sometimes some of this depreciation of the cedi can be deliberate.
Yeah.
We have something that we call devaluation.
Okay.
And then when they do it and then it backfires, then we see it as something like this.
Yeah.
Because if the professor, I believe, if he's advising government, will tell government that it will be better that the cedi depreciates.
Yeah.
Some of them were even saying that the cedi's value is too high, and that we have to let it find its own level,
of course, yeah.
and that we should leave it to lose its value. Some economists have said that. And so when they start managing this, they try to put it in practice and it gets out of hands. And then speculating setting, then it goes the way that it
Doc, I'll be coming back to your thoughts on what government should be doing for you today because of this. Dr. Pabli, I mean, moving on and trying to wrap us as well, for you as a Forex operator as well, what do you think you want those who are managing this space, the monetary space and government to be doing right now, because it has its own challenges going forward, and as you wrap up on this. And Doc, before you even come to that question, probably, there's always a spike in demand also in the first quarter of every year, right? And some are saying that let's wait and see if this appreciation or stability is real. We will see the real size of the cedi in the first quarter of next year.
So if it is not purposely driven or policy driven, and it's just the market forces, then I can assure you that by January, because as we speak now, people are not importing. We are in Christmas festivity is coming. People don't need dollar to, travel. They are not, school. This is not a school period. People will be paying fees. So when it comes to January going, if it's just the market forces and it's not policy driven, the city will appreciate it. The city will depreciate again against the foreign currency.
For you, getting your final thought as well, what do you want the Bank of Ghana to be doing as well in this current challenge and even on the fiscal side as well, Doc?
Yeah, so like I keep saying, you see, we are managing an economy. We must have a purpose to drive what we want to achieve. So for instance, it is not bad even when your currency or your cedi is depreciating, like we've just all mentioned. You see, sometimes if you want to focus on exports and you want to be competitive, you don't want to have a strong currency. You understand? If your intent or your intention are to promote exports, then you don't have to have a strong CD that your produce cannot be competitive in the global market. Okay, so all this must be purpose or policy driven. And again, talk about what the Bank of Ghana or the fiscal area Minister of Finance would do. You see, I want to caution, some of these things are also attitudes. Ghanaians have certain attitudes that we need and pray that we change. We are too much profit-oriented. You understand?
I'll come to Guta to give us a response, but you go ahead, sorry, since I want you to wrap up on your thoughts, your final thoughts, sorry.
Okay, so as I would want government to drive home, let government be open, that this is the way we want to go. And let's all join hands and help them to achieve it. Thank you.
Prof. William Babati, your final thoughts way forward in the gymnastics that the city is doing right now, and for you're wrapping up in your final thought, Prof.
Well, I think the managers of the economy have the data. They are watching. I don't have the data, and I think they know the liquidity in terms of this that we have in the economy. They know the outflows of foreign currency that we have and the inflow that are coming in. Bank of Ghana has a research department that they monitor all this, and I'm sure they have a dashboard and will be able to know that if it gets to a certain point, this is where we need to intervene. My colleague was talking about the fact that sometimes you devalue the currency. What normally happens is that devaluation comes in when you have your fixed exchange rate regime, where you intentionally fix the exchange rate in such a way that it affects the economic activity. But where we are now, we are in a situation where we allow demand and supply of foreign currency to operate, and as and when the regulators feel that they need to come in and intervene, they come in. They normally observe what is going on. And I think that the instruments that the Bank of Ghana currently has at its disposal will be the interest rate. And I think they will actually use the interest rate well to be able to ensure that we have stability. You said the stability we are enjoying. When you are having rapid appreciation, it is not referred to as stability. And when you are having rapid appreciation, it's not found to be instability. What normally happens is that, as I conclude, is that we have to have an economy where our exchange rate will be very stable, and if it has to depreciate, it should be within the 2% mark. If it has to appreciate, it should be within 2% mark. Over the past few years, we have enjoyed single-digit inflation, and prices were very stable, and it helps everybody to plan.
Okay.
And I think we need to get to that point. I always say that anytime something small triggers the exchange rate, whether it is appreciation or depreciation, then speculating sets in and it moves like fire. I think the fundamental, we don't have to allow that much to be ignited to allow speculators to come in.
Okay.
We need to back everything that we have as currency with production. We need to get the fundamentals right, and we'll be able to stabilize it. But we cannot be dancing up and dancing down. It's not good for an economy.
Doc, Joseph, your final thoughts as you wrap up on this whole stability thing and how we can sustain it, and the promise to us consumers on the way forward, Doc.
Yeah, business people are confused at what is happening now. And so at this time, everybody have to apply wisdom and tact on doing business. Otherwise, you lose. Or that's why we can only appeal to our members to do what is needful, because it will not be in our own interest that the prices is overpriced, where you need to enjoy the fallen dollar, the dollar that has come to this. If you reduce your price more, you will be able to buy now. If you make your price exorbitantly high, it will mean so. We have to balance up how we do our business. But we are in we are not in price control regime. We are said we are in a liberalized economy, so we can only appeal to our members and guide them. But to tell the truth, they have the right to sell their goods.
But
at
you
their
confirm
own
that,
prices.
that it has the reduction has
But
started and it's
exactly.
Okay.
What I must emphasize here is that the consuming public should be measured with their expectation. So to be fair with this, because they shouldn't also see that we lose all our capital out of this. And so this is the appeal that...
Doug, just for me, I appreciate your time so much. And maybe it'll be a good time to wish you a Merry Christmas as well.
Yeah.
And a Happy New Year.
Thank you.
And this has been PM Express Business Edition. I know the debate will go on in your homes, in your offices, and even wherever you are about whether the stability can really be sustained or what can be done to ensure that we, the consumers, benefit from what is happening. Have a great day.